This is a 30 by 96 hoop house. It's a Quonset style, so it's a round roof, as opposed to our greenhouse, which is a Gothic style. We put this up last fall, and then we grew early head lettuce, greens, radishes, some beets, baby bok choy and regular bok choy. We grew those in the spring for our early farmers market, and we actually had those by May 5th, a month earlier than our field plantings. So we were able to go to our first farmers market in May, which was really, really wonderful for us because we were one of the only people who had fresh produce, and that's when everyone wants fresh produce and fresh greens. We worked on it for 2 weeks, not full time, but like getting in the ground posts, because you have to pound in the ground posts. Every 4 feet there's a ground post, and they need to be completely level. And then the structure itself has to be completely square, just for ease of putting up your hoops. Because we put this up last fall and didn't have experience with it, like we're still learning, you know, like the end walls are very crude and they just roll up with rope. And we need to get a better trellising system so we have a little bit better support. But that was just like something we had to do because the tomatoes were growing way too tall, and we didn't want to order the supports this year. And looking back on it, like, I'm not sure the next one that we put up will get as tall of a hoop house, because it's kind of prohibitive to do anything way at the top. Like, you need scaffolding. I think it's about 15 feet in the center. And it just was, it's really hard, like if you need to patch the plastic or something like that. Okay. It's not that bad. I mean, the spring is the worst, but if we're gonna get like a bad storm, we'll close it. The tricky part is in spring, and it's just like any greenhouse, where if it's like a day like today where it was foggy and cloudy, you know, you have it all closed because it's 40 degrees, and then the sun comes out and it can be 100 degrees in 10 minutes. Wow. So that's just a matter of opening the sides and opening the ends. You can get, you know, fancier hoop houses that have all of that, like automatically, automatic fans and that kind of stuff, but that gets really, really spendy. The nice thing is, you know, like when we're gonna get a frost, we'll close this, and we have like at least 4 degrees temperature difference in here. Once we started harvesting the greens, we planted tomatoes. We have 4 varieties of cherry tomatoes in here, and then there's just some like regular red slicing tomatoes. So we have sun-gold tomatoes on the far end, and these were planted first. We've grown them for the past few years, and we've grown them outside, and what happens is about this time of year when you get rain, they start to crack because they absorb so much water. But when you grow them in a hoop house, you can control how much water they get, so your yield goes up drastically and your frustration level goes down dramatically. It's a lot of maintenance because you're pruning all of the tomato plants. You're pruning off the suckers so that you have just one main stem. You have to trellis them every week and wind them around the stem. I've never seen such amazing tomato plants with very little, you know, fungus or disease or anything. And it's just by virtue of having them protected from the rain and from soil splashing up. And then we're growing some red slicing tomatoes, which have done really, really well. And I think we'll grow a lot of those next year in the hoop house. We hope to put up another one of these next spring. The field tomatoes are basically dead. They have septoria leaf spot, and they're trellised and they're basket weaved. We don't have really any cherry tomatoes in the field. So this was mainly for the cherries to prevent cracking. And then I trialed some of like the red varieties to see how they did, and I mean, it's like night and day. Plus you get like the earliness. You take advantage of those times of the year when people really want tomatoes and they're not available locally. So that kind of makes up, that's like another way you can kind of pay for pay for the hoop house itself in a short amount of time.